And today we're going to talk about messes, specifically NCs and oil changes and how to avoid them. Now, as always, you have questions, drop them in the comments. We'll try to get to them live. If we don't, we'll get to them after the fact. And horizontal video tomorrow for those of you who hate vertical videos. So no worries there. So the NC, awesome car. We love it. All sorts of great stuff with it, but Mazda positioned the oil filter directly over a brace right behind the subframe, which means that whenever you do an oil change, everything gets really, really dirty. And I'll show you on the car in just a sec here. So we have developed this. Now this sits on that subframe brace, and it has these holes. I'll show you how it mounts, but basically it sits in there. This gathers all the oil that falls out of your oil filter and guides it down here behind that brace into your drain pan. No more spills. So easy peasy, super easy installation. It is intended to be mounted permanently. So you can see there's a little hex right there that your nut slips into. Nice press fit there. And then we bolt it into place. Now, this is 3D printed on our in-house printers. This is made from a carbon fiber reinforced nylon, so it is good for very high temps, so you're not going to melt it with hot oil. It is also solvent resistant, so oil's not going to mess it up, but you can also clean it as long as your solvent's not too gnarly. But anyway, you can clean it with a solvent to get rid of all the gross oil and such. So I'll show you how it installs here. So this is the subframe brace that I'm talking about. This is the subframe right here. And this dark guy up there is the oil filter. So basically, these holes right here correspond with holes on the top, but holes in this brace. So it just slips in like that. The little peg on the back kind of holds it in place. Now, you could use this just temporarily when you do an oil change. If you do that, you're kind of likely to knock this. So we do recommend just a permanent install. So I will slip around here. So that goes in right there. And then grab my tool. Now this is plastic, you don't have to go crazy. It's a nylock nut, so it's not gonna vibrate loose, so we're just looking for snug. We're not looking to break anything. So I will demonstrate here. Get prepared. So this is not going to keep oil from running down your arm. So what I recommend is loosen this, basically break that seal at the top, and then just let it drain. And then once it's done draining, pull it out. That way you're less likely to get oil all over yourself. So, yep, there it goes. There you go. Pretty straightforward. So it's shaped so that it catches the oil that comes out of the filter. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, right? It guides it down here. So you can see our subframe is clean and maybe not sparkly, but not covered in an oil rust protectant now. So that's how it works. If you have an NC, if you do your own oil changes or you value the sanity of your mechanic, you should definitely pick one up. Didn't even need the glove. So yeah, I could make it more complicated, but it's not. It's that easy. So we do have other oil things that we've had for a while. Now we've got our thread-in oil funnel here. So this is for the fill, obviously, but this has the right thread, if you will, to to thread into the valve cover. It threads straight into the oil fill and then gives you a nice big funnel. Comes with a base so that it's not going to make a mess in your toolbox. And we now have a cap for it. So if you want to make sure that this stays clean, you don't get dead moths and dust and whatever else in your funnel, there you go, clips on. Now, not everyone's going to care about this, so that lid is separate. It's not included, but we do have that. And it does fit with all of these because we've been selling these funnels for a while. We also have them for the NAs and the NBs. Now, if you want a somewhat more economical option, we do have the oil funnel adapter. Same threads here, and it has basically channels in there for air. So you don't have to have the air come out of the funnel itself. It'll come out of these passages. Now this is, you know, if you want to use it as is, it's a slightly bigger hole to aim for. But the intention here is that this will hold your funnel upright in the valve cover, so you don't have to worry about it falling over. It's just more stable than just using that funnel as is. Now, these are all from our U-Design program. The U-Design program has been around for a while at this point. The U-Design program, just briefly, is you have a design, you think the Miata world could benefit from it, you contact us, we evaluate it, maybe we help you polish it a little bit, and then we take care of everything from there. We sell it, we market it, we inventory it, we ship it, and you just get a check when we sell enough of the parts. So, really slick thing. If you do have ideas for, if you do have designs for ideas, we're always looking for, designs for parts. We're always looking for ideas. The U-Design program is specifically for mostly or completely done designs. But anyway, if you have any designs that you'd like to send our way, please do. Print me at flyinmiata.com and we'll get those checked out, see if it's a good fit for our program. So, not a complicated topic, but a good, important one that helps out. Do we have any questions?
Do you need to remove any of the braces in order to actually install this?
Yeah, so do we need to remove any of the braces to install this? Not really. So there's a brace here that you'll need to remove to do your oil change, but you don't really need to remove it to install this. There's another brace here that we took off just for visibility, but no, you don't need to remove any of the braces. So it might make your life that much easier, but no, realistically no.
Does it make it any more difficult to get the oil filter all the way off?
So does it make it more difficult to get the oil filter off? Here, I will demonstrate. So it does decrease the amount of space that you have. So can you get in there and see the oil filter? So more difficult, sure, enough to be a problem. No. Okay. So I'm going to kind of drag it out a little bit. This harness is in my way, so I can move it up. And I'm trying very hard to keep it vertical. And there you go. So more difficult? Nah, I guess. Enough to matter? No, I would argue no. I did need my glove that time though, so. More questions? Okay. So we did get, so no more questions live. So if you do have questions, drop them in. So we do have a few questions from ahead of time. So will we make one for the NB? Yes, you're in luck. We did a while ago. So this is our oil filter drain funnel. It's the exact same concept in a completely different execution. So this is not meant to be installed permanently on the car. The stock 1.8 liter NA and NB Miatas, sorry 1.6 folks, has a stock oil cooler here. So this piece clips onto that oil cooler and the oil filter sticks out here. Same routine, you unthread it, so kind of break that seal, this toilet bowl shape there, you know, if it works, it works. gathers all the oil, and it's pretty deep, so if you have an oil thermostat or anything like that, it should still catch everything. This hose runs it down below the subframe into your drain pan. Once you're done, pop this back out, and there you go. Works really, really well. Even has a little hole on there to hang it on your pegboard at home. So yes, we do make one for the NB and the NA, but not the 1.6. Is it possible to remove the filter without spilling anything? Anything? No, but that catches it. Without spilling most of it, yes. As I just showed you, it actually works pretty well. And the question we get every time we have a 3D printed product, will you sell the STL? We will not. So we have a fair amount of time and effort invested in this, and also, and we couldn't kind of control what happened to the STL afterwards. Maybe the bigger thing is we don't have any control over the quality of the final part if we don't print it in-house. If it's printed out of the wrong material, if your printer settings are wrong, it'll have our logo on it, but it will not look good. So it will be a poor representation of it. By keeping all of the printing in-house, we're able to keep control of the quality of the product and stand behind it. You know, if you print it yourself and then it turns out poorly and you call us for a warranty request, no, sorry, the design is good. So anyway, no, I apologize, but we won't sell the STL. Will it work with right-hand drive cars? I cannot imagine why not, but we haven't actually installed it, so I can't guarantee it. If you have a right-hand drive car, pick one up. If it doesn't work, get in touch with us. We'll take care of you. But I would guess, but not guarantee, that it will work. Okay, can you show the 3D relationship between this and the filter? Exactly how this lets you remove the filter without a mess? Yep, we just showed you that, so in there. How do you clean this when finished without removing it? Won't the oil just drip from this once you're done and still make a mess? So if you don't clean it at all, you know, you can see it will probably do a drip every couple of minutes at decreasing frequency. So if you don't clean it at all, honestly, it's probably still not going to make that much of a mess. But if you just take some brake clean, squirt it down, and wipe it, there you go. Problem solved. You should be good to go. It's pretty easy to get your hand up in there, so no problem. This is a question I did not anticipate. Will this hurt the aerodynamics under my car? Well, we didn't run a CFD calculation on the oil filter drain funnel, so, excuse me, oil filter mess saver. So I cannot answer that question 100%. That said, if you look here, you can't see it. You know, you've got this bolt head sticking down, but there's a bunch of stuff sticking down that's going to make the air turbulent. The actual funnel itself is recessed up, so it sticks out the back far enough to keep it off of that brace, but it doesn't stick down far enough to interrupt your aerodynamics, or perhaps more importantly, get broken off if you drive over something tall. So I guess I can't guarantee anything, but no, pragmatically, this is not going to do anything to the aerodynamics of your car. Okay, can we get these in fun colors? Unfortunately, no. I mean, you're welcome to spray paint it or something like that, but the material that we use is only black because of the type of material that it is. Again, carbon fiber reinforced nylon. It's a specific formulation for very high temperature resistance and chemical resistance and all that kind of stuff. So long story short, no. Okay, what material is printed from? Carbon fiber nylon. Is it oil resistant? Yes, there. Is there a spot to set the filter so it can drain? Absolutely. If you have your drain pan here, you're gonna put it upside down in that drain pan and drain it there. No, there is not a place on the oil filter, oil drain mess saver itself to drain the filter, just because there's no room for it and it's not really a realistic thing. But pretty standard to just flip it upside down in your drain pan. The drain pan I have at home specifically has a little place for it. So my oil filter sits upside down. It's propped up a little bit, but there's a gap anyway. So no, but a fairly easily solvable problem. So do we have any more questions that came in? No questions. Okay. Okay, so that is it. Do you think this is a good idea? Will it help you do your oil change? Let us know in the comments. If you like this, give us a like, helps us out. If you like this kind of thing in general, subscribe. We do this every week and we're adding more and more videos all the time. So definitely subscribe to the channel. We got a bunch of fun Miata content. So thank you very much for stopping by. I hope this was fun. We will see you next week.